Hello, welcome back. Episode 13. So far plus $983 for the video series. Hoping to break past that $1,000 mark of profit today. We already played a few hands as I wanted to get the tables ready, and we got Ace King in the big blind. Sadly, this is for today. We're already down 30 bucks. Not to worry. We can give a good session. We can get that into the green nicely. The reason we're up 36 in EV but down 30, some of you mightn't understand the concept of EV and all that, but we got it in Ace King versus Ace King. On the flop, we had the Ace of Spades, he had the King of Spades. The flop was Spade, Spade, Spade. We were like 66% favorite, but we chopped it, so that's where you see what we should have won is the $36 and what we actually won is the $28. This video series is about making a living off 1-2 cash Zoom streets. So we're going to be focusing on the net one number. We're not going to be focusing on what we should have won. We're going to be focusing on how much money we've won or lost. So let's check this again at the end of the session. Hopefully it's looking good. It's looking rosy. And yeah, let's get straight into it. It was a busy weekend. It was an unsuccessful weekend as far as tournaments go. It was the anniversary millie. Hopefully some of you got a few deep runs going. I sure didn't, but that's okay. King Queen suited table 1. King Queen off table 3 will have to go in the muck. And back to King Queen suited on table 1. We don't want to 4-bet this because we can't call off a jam, and it would be such a disaster to 4-bet and then fold with such a high amount of equity. We won't be going anywhere in this flop. Depending on his size, we can check raise or check call. Gonna just check raise, I think. We want to do this with some 10x for protection. We'll have straight draws, hands like this with 2 overs and backdoor straight draw, flush draw type stuff. Picking it up right now is nice. That's what we want to see. 5-4 suited will open it up on table 3. And we defend a 3x and flop an 8. I think we'll start betting on table 2. We're not going to fuck around today. We're just going to keep betting for value. Check back to 5-4. Absolute swing and a miss. Can bluff later streets. We'll check back to King Queen. I don't like checking back. Textures or flops that we're always going to bet, because it kind of turns our hand a little bit face up when we check back, but we want him to turn a set of 4s or a set of 6s or something. On the 9 now, we're just going to fold. It's a pretty bad card on table 2. And we'll go for a very cheap yet optimistic bluff on the river. And I think we'll just go 1/4 on the turn now with our full house. We get the 5-4 through, which is nice. We get the full house through, which is not so nice. Yeah, like I say, hopefully some of you got a deep run going in that anniversary millie. Maybe you had a friend, a friend who ran deep. Sick tournament, a $200 tournament with $1.5 million for first. Pretty sick stuff. We'll introduce the randomizer for this A7 spot, as we want to just be checking and betting a mixture. We'll bet this time. Take it down, like to see it. The 8-10, our 8 kicker kind of makes us want to, with our 8 kicker it means we need more protection than a hand like Jack-10. It also means we just lose to more 10x obviously with this kicker. I'm just deciding if we want to check raise. I think I do check raise. I think this hand, as weak as it is, it just needs a lot of protection. And he can still continue it worse. King 6, not 100% sure if we're defending this. But we do anyway. I think now we just slow down with the 10-8. All the hands that we're trying to fold out are like 2 overcards and stuff, so those hands would have already folded on the flop. So now betting the turn doesn't really make sense, as his range is very different than it was on the flop. Very bad run out, of course. We lose to just about everything. Maybe he checks back pocket sevens, pocket nines, and we take it down. I don't think we're going to bluff the king six. He had jacks with a club. That's fine. Surprised he didn't get a little bit more value out of that. He can re-raise the flop. He can bet on a later street. Yeah, well, we won't bother do anything with the king six. The jack three will just straight over bet. Very nice spot to do so, in my opinion. He's going to have a very hard time continuing on the turn with his range that is check back flop. He's not checking back too many nutted things on that very wet draw heavy flop, right? So we can assume his range is very weak. That's why we just go ahead and overbet. And it's like taking candy from a baby, really. Now that gets complicated when people will balance their checkbacks. You know, just check back a nice strong top pair. Even I've saw people check back sets on like wet boards just to completely throw me off. It happens. It works quite well. There's not so many players that do start overbetting versus checkbacks though, but I am one that does it quite a lot. So if you're ever playing a hand against me and you want to just get the max, just check back the flop with a good hand. And just call my turn overbet and call my river overbet, and you'll be fine. The queen four suited might actually not be a defend, but we don't get punished. We just flop a full house. We would have just check called the flop as we just blocked the queen x. And now we'll bet 2/3 as we pick up a decent amount of draws with our range. Sadly, he just folds. Nice hand him. Check back a very dry board and then fold turn. Maybe he sees our cards. 7-5 suited, we see a limp in the cutoff. I imagine this guy is a fun player. He's just having a splash. I guess I min bet in case he's the type of dude to just check back too much. Now we check call on the king. He bets pot. It's a bit worrying. But he's not really repping much. The 7 is quite a bad card. He's going to bet pot again, I think. Wow. Mr. Overbetsky. Well, he's a character. He is a character for sure. He's going to get the orange tag. Very aggressive. But we're going to be playing some fun spots against him if he sticks around. We're going to be playing some fun spots against him. King queen off, we'll open it up on table 3. And just fold these positions. Under the gun against cutoff. Under the gun is low jack. I prefer to call it low jack, as under the gun always changes depending on how many players are at the table. The low jack never changes position. The low jack is always beside the hijack. The hijack is always beside the cutoff. I think it's more efficient to refer to these positions as hijack and low jack personally. Who really cares though? I'll check back the 5s. We have a decent amount of showdown value / equity, and we don't want to get blown off it by betting and then folding to a raise. Really bad turn card for us, so now it's just a standard fold. Ten deuce, easiest fold of my life. And a couple of playable hands here. We won't be 3-betting the ace-10 off. Just be pure defending. It just fits nicely into a hand that it's too weak to build a big pot, and it works very nicely as like a trap, as it's quite a disguised strong hand in the big blind. I'm tempted to check raise this turn now. He's kind of saying, he's kind of just betting and disregarding his, he's disregarding the fact we can have plenty of 7x there in the big blind. Yeah, we're going to have a lot more 7x. He should be checking that turn a decent amount. Which is why I kind of punish him. The ace-10 is decent blockers as well to the king and jack. The king 7 off, very marginal on the button. Could have opened it. Didn't really want to wait around for it though, as it's so marginal. Ace 8 suited will open up. This would normally be a pure fold. It is a weaker player, and now we're getting a good price. We get small blind cold calling. Definitely going to get in the mix now. Missed the flop. Start betting our king 9. Pool is looking decent at the moment. See a lot of green tags. Don't want to get check raised with the king 9. I did debate checking it back, as it's one of our weakest. It actually, excuse me, it's our weakest king X there. So if we're choosing a top pair to check back for balance and deception, it's good to choose the top pair with our weakest top pair, right? With our top pair with our weakest kicker. Put that into the check backs. It works quite nicely. As when we are getting coolered by a better hand, that check back functions very well for saving our money, you know. Pot control. You can't beat a nice bit of pot control every now and then, you know. Because pot control and deception and balance all go hand in hand. If you want to check a good hand, you're balancing your checks, you're protecting your check range, you're pot controlling against potentially better hands. So yeah, there's a connection between those two things. And we'll check back the ace jack. He's got more 6x. We've a nice amount of playability on turns with our 2 overcards, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. We want to control the pot. Now we see a very appropriate overbet from big blind, as it's a super wet board, so we can have so many draws. Oh, mistake on table 3. And we've checked back the flop. Absolutely amazing turn on table 2. Absolutely amazing. The 10s was a mistake. I didn't see under the gun limped. I thought we were just opening. If under the gun limped, we would have made it like 4.5 bigs or something, but we just min raised them. We min 3 bet them. Now, take a free card with the 8-7. Pretty happy about that. We could bluff a hand like king queen of hearts, king queen of diamonds, ace queen of diamonds, but our ace queens and ace kings are just going to check back. So I don't think we can get away with an overbet here. I just don't think we have enough bluffs. But whatever we bet here, it's... But he will have a 6 a decent amount. I guess we'll just go pot. I was thinking of under pot. I was thinking of over pot, but okay. He just had a hand like 8-9 suited. He just had a combo draw that he bricked. A nice hand him though. I respect it. I do respect it. I was tempted to take a sneak peek at how the profit loss was going so far, but I think that's a really bad habit / attitude. While you're in your session, it's completely irrelevant how much money you're up and down. That's just going to completely distract you and take away your focus. Doesn't matter. You need to completely ignore the real world value of these chips or of this money. You just got to treat it like it's a game of chess or whatever. You got to just spend all your brain energy on your decisions here. If I start looking to see how much I'm up or down, it's very pointless and counterproductive. Queen 9 suit is too strong to fold here. We might stab versus a check. He can have a hand like ace queen of spades that just misses this board horribly, as we do. When he bets, he can take it down. But if he checked to us, we could have just stabbed 1/4, targeting those like spades, hearts. Any suited hands that aren't in clubs are just like kind of hating life there, right? The queen jack is marginal. We got a big fish on the button, which is why I justified it. Oh, he might just 3-bet us now, but no. King jack off is a fold. This guy is a pro, Ruslan, as far as I know. He does flat the small blind though, which don't really see any reason for him to be doing that. He's just flattened the small blind. He's going to be very pair heavy, 7s, 5s, pocket 8s maybe. Maybe that's why he's finding the check raise. We do have a backdoor straight draw. like on a 9 or a 10, we turn some equity. We have our 2 overcards versus his 9s, maybe his pocket 7s. We're going to play this quite aggressively and bump it up. He can have, the fact that it's a rainbow board with diamond, spade, heart, that gives him 3 different suits of backdoor flush draws. So he can have plenty of check raises there if there's loads of combos with backdoor flush draws. We had the jack of hearts, which blocked some of them, but having the queen of clubs unblocked all of them, so. And he's only repping 8s full as well. Like, if somebody's repping a very, very thin value range, you can kind of just say fuck you and re-raise. No, that's quite situational. Forget what I said there. There's certain spots where that's the case, but there's spots where that's certainly not the case, so I'd ignore that. I don't think we want to bluff the king 10. Like, are we going to get a better hand to fold? Oh, I plugged in my charger, but it's not charging. Check, yeah, too much showdown with the king 10. Oh, there's a great example of a hand we could have folded out. The king jack, not a good texture for us. We can bluff some rivers. Let me get my mic in place here. Hopefully the audio's fine. A little bit distracted by having to get my charger there. I feel like I was talking about a spot. Oh yeah, it was the king 10. Yeah, there is some underpairs we can fold out. Maybe we should have turned that king 10 into a bluff, as we're quite low down in our range. When the queen pairs up our queen X, obviously, and our ace highs are better than our king highs like fall down to the bottom of our range. And normally a good rule of thumb is to just bluff the bottom of your range, as the more hands. When you're at the bottom of your range, it's not just you're losing to more hands, it's you're losing to more really weak hands, you know? The lower down your range you are means like the weaker hands that can beat you at showdown. And those weaker hands are just going to fold to a bluff. This cold 4-bet is super strong, and the fact that the original raiser 3x, which makes our 3-bet bigger, which makes his 4-bet bigger, which then in turn makes the SPR more shallow, which isn't good for our hand. So, God, but 13 bigs. Let's get the dollars out for this one. 27 to win 70 to 75. I'll check back to 7s now. We're going to peel. We're going to peel in position. Let me know what you think about that one. Pretty gross spot now. Gonna have to continue with backdoor clubs and backdoor straight draws. Second pair. We beat hands like queens. Just got a snap fold to a bet now. I'd be giving him super strong hands, top of his range stuff, ace, queen, ace, king, aces, kings. I'd also give him some ace 5 suited bluffs and queens and jacks, like we say. Hopefully he's just got queens or jacks. We're going to see queens or jacks or ace 5 suited, I think. Yeah, queens, love to see it. That's a really nice result, of course. Just got a bunch of folds right now. Ace queen off, we'll open that up, and ace king off in the big blind will sure be a 3-bet. We get walked. 6-3 suited first in, I just think it's too weak. 10-8 off will defend against button, fold against cutoff, and we'll actually mix a 3-bet against small blind, but don't get given the opportunity. King 10 off, open that up on the button. And Ace King off on table 3. 3 playable hands right here. I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet the King 10 suited. We'll make it a little smaller than last time. And cold 4-bet the Ace King off. Very nice spot. The King 10 off sadly will be a fold versus 3-bet even in these positions. Now for sizing on table 2, Queen 8 Deuce 2-tone. I think we've quite nice blockers to the Queen. We block Queen 10 of clubs, we block King Queen of clubs. Good luck table 3 with the Ace King. Hopefully it's not aces. Are we running it twice? We're running it once. Can we drill it? Not looking good. Sadly we get stacked. We'll go for a half pot on this 3-bet pot table 2. Queen 9 suited would just make it into an open. God, it's sad that guy didn't run it twice. Ho hum. Now I'll expect this dude to continue his 7s, 9s, 6s, stuff like that. Even some ace jack of spades hands on the flop. So definitely going to barrel for a half pot again and expect to generate a decent amount of fold equity. Queen 9 suited, easy fold here. Oh, he leads. He leads on the 8. I kind of want to min raise. I kind of want to fuck you min raise. Kind of want to fuck you min raise. But what? But this eliminates his smaller pairs, right? Now he's just more likely to have spades or like a value hand. I think we're still going to fuck you min raise. Oh, he might just rip a trip 8s in our face now, but he might have just got a bit too sticky on the flop. It looks like he just has trip 8s. It's very unlikely he does have an 8, as he's not supposed to defend many 8x versus 3-bet. But nice hand, sir. Queen 9 gut shot table 3 will continue versus half pot. Deuces just have to fold. Ace is on table 1. We're going to make this the last hand of the session. And we didn't get any action. So, bit of a rough session, potentially a bit of a boring session. But, you know, it happens. All we can do is put in a grind, play our best, see what we can do. I got to get more money into stars as well. Can only deposit 1k per 24 hours with the new regulations, which is horrible, but we'll work our way around that. And we're going to see what the damage is now. Plus 983 before today's session. Looks like today's session was kind of nasty. Minus 375 total. And we only should have lost 132. We ran quite bad. We ran quite below EV. But that happens. That's a very standard part of being a professional. So minus 375. That will take the total tally to plus 608. It's okay. We'll be back again tomorrow for another grind. Subscribe if you want to see this content daily. And yeah, cheers. Get in the comments. Good for the algorithm. See you later.